Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. We hope that you're all so excited, just as excited as we are. As you can see with our background, it's all Christmas-ified because that was our weekend today was getting all that done because we're both super busy. So we had to do it. Also, for all of you Canadian folks out there, today is Remembrance Day, of course. So thinking of everybody who has a veteran in their life or someone who's currently enrolled, like helping our country stay the way it is. We really appreciate all that. So thank you to everyone for your service and for the families of those people. We just really appreciate it. I wanted to start this live off that way because that is today. But we're going to welcome everyone here in the chat and then get started. We have some fun stuff planned here today. Heidi has on a princess shirt, which is great. Into the unknown. I don't really have any princess shirts, so I just have this like Disney 100 shirt. There's some princess on it, but my Magical Castle Ray hat from Princess and the Frog. But are you excited for tonight's live, Heidi? How do you feel about it?
Yes.
I'm excited about some princesses. So we're going to welcome everyone in, and then we'll get started. Erin is here. Thanks for being here. She says, excited for the stream. We'll mostly be lurking, watching while I make some jewelry for my friends' Christmas gifts.
That's nice.
Very fun, very fun. Kennedy is here. Hello, Kennedy. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Haley and Tommy are here and say, yay, Christmas. We love Christmas. We were actually watching today our old vlogs from Christmas. The first time ever that we went together was during the holiday season. It was like November. And we watched that vlog. And then we also watched the one with Haley and Tommy on actual Christmas Day from, what was that, 2021, I guess.
Was it 2021?
Yeah, we've done 2021. Last year was engagement. And this year was the birthday / program being over trip with Caitlin and Austin. Crazy. But Reb, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you to everyone who's watching after as well. Be sure to like this stream if you're here. And if you're new to our channel, consider subscribing. We really appreciate that as well. And hang out with us here in the chat. Haley and Tommy were reminiscing about when they saw Clarabelle sing. Yeah, that was crazy.
Was so funny.
And that just like randomly happened. Like it was like not planned because of course it wasn't a party. It was just Christmas Day.
Well, it must be planned on
Christmas Day. That's what I'm saying on there. But I'm saying
know.
For us, we didn't know. I'm also drinking a cranberry ginger ale. I don't know if that's American as well. Maybe only Canadian.
Like it's probably American now.
It is so good. And it's the holiday spirit.
So.
For sure. I hope that you all have it. But let's get started. Of course, everyone can play along in the chat below. I'm just going to share my second screen here. Entire screen. Screen 2. Very nice. We're prepared. So here is our topic, of course, for today. We're going to be ranking all of the Disney princesses. And we'll kind of talk about the princesses here very shortly, just for a little bit to kind of get into like the certain princesses that are in our bracket. But we have 16 different princesses in our bracket. It was all randomized. I just took all the pictures, hit like randomly fill, and it put all of the princesses into that bracket. So we didn't pick it or do anything. It's all random. Heidi hasn't seen it at all. I saw it just when I was doing it. So that's fun. There are some characters when you look it up, of course, people think there's like so many princesses, like Tinkerbell's a princess and Jane from Tarzan and all these characters. We are going based on all of the official Disney princesses that Disney has said are official Disney princesses plus 3. And the reason for that, the 2 of them are Elsa and Anna, and they are princesses and are now, I guess, queens of their respective like areas, I guess, kingdoms. And then one of them was kind of to make the numbers work because the other one that we wanted to use, A, we're not sure is a princess, and B, her movie has not come out yet, and that is Disney Wish with Asha. So we are using Jazelle from Enchanted, and we'll talk about her once we get to her. But there are 16, 8 on each side, and we're going to be seeing which princess comes out on top. Now, we're not ranking their movie necessarily, right? Because, for example,
we're not ranking their movie.
Tangled is not Rapunzel. Tangled is a movie of a bunch of characters, but we're ranking that specific character who's the princess and maybe their like character arc or like everything about that specific character.
But
right?
Not necessarily the movie. That's a good point.
No, I wanted to say that. Of course, you all rank how you want to rank. Yeah. Rank your favorite, rank if you love the movie, whatever you feel. But we just wanted to say on our end, we're going to rank based on the actual character, the princess, the story arc, the progression, the growth, and the like traits and qualities of that character, if that makes any sense. Maybe some songs will come into play because they all have great songs. Usually some don't have songs, but most of them do. And we'll touch on that later. But Happy Travel Vlogs is here. Welcome. And Devin is here as well. We're going to get started, like I said. And I just wanted to give a little bit of a quick... a little bit of a quick overview there. Jason, you are so funny. I love when you're here, Jason. Welcome.
We'll be done
16
in 10 minutes.
Short night. No. Again, this was much easier than villains because I don't know. That was a long time. This will not be 3 hours. I feel very confident about it. We shall see though. Who knows what could happen really on a Sunny sit down episode, but here we go, friends. Of course, it's time to do a bracket battle, which we love so much and have so much fun with. And I'm going to pull it up here and we'll see our first matchup. I'm going to pull it over to this side here. And like I said, we're ranking based on the princess as the character, not necessarily the movie. But again, you all do whatever you feel is right for you. I'm trying to zoom in here. There we go. And yeah, there's 8 on one side, 8 on the other. Again, I'm sure we all have our favorites, and we'll talk about that after, and some songs and different things. And then be sure to stay tuned till the end of the live for some other little updates and some fun stuff. But are we all ready to go? We'll see some thumbs. And everybody who is not in the chat and just watching along, we appreciate you as well so much. So thanks for hanging out with us. These are always so much fun to do. I'll have a sip of this before I really get into the bracket here. Do you want some?
Okay.
No worries. Alrighty. I think that we're all ready. I'm just going to get into this. All right. Our first matchup is Snow White versus Aurora. Of course, Snow White is the first Disney princess. And Aurora was like shortly after in that kind of same era, which is very fun. Again, these are both two princesses that are maybe like older and kind of more, I think, in the era of like what a princess was in that era. I think that princesses have grown over time. Sleeping Beauty is not a movie that I really have watched in a long time. Snow White is one that I would revisit more so, but which way do you want to go with either two of these princesses?
So I'm going to vote for Snow White, but I feel like it's not a fair vote on my end because yeah, Aurora, I don't really know. Like, I don't know when the last time I watched this. I don't ever remember watching it, honestly. I'm sure I did when I was younger. So I feel like it's not fair, but also I like Snow White. So I'm going to vote for Snow White.
Which apparently has become like a controversial thing that people like Snow White. I think also...
But everyone in the chat looks like they like Snow White other than Austin.
As of right now, yes. Austin's here and Austin says anyone other than Snow White. I think as well... like we said, princesses have like evolved over time.
Yeah.
I think kind of in the era, more depth and stuff. But I just, again, I'm sure that both of these ladies are very kind and sweet, but I just remember that Snow White is just one of those that I just think is
so
such
sweet.
Yeah, she's so sweet.
She's like so little.
And like wholesome. And she just like, I don't know. She just like takes, I don't know, so many different things. Like she takes care of the dwarves and animals and just seems very, very sweet. And I'd like to be her friend. So I'm going to vote for Snow White as well, because I do love that, like, her kind of, like, little, like, I guess that she kind of does have some, like, progression there a little bit. Not as much as some other princesses, but that's my justification.
What's her progression?
I don't know, that she just kind of, I think that she, like is always caring, but then kind of has that rough patch where she feels lost and is around, and then she meets the dwarfs and kind of is, like, put on a different pathway. Maybe, who knows? Austin's here, like we said, welcome. And Tim is here. Thank you so much for being here. And we'll get into some votes here. Devin is voting for Snow White. Kennedy is voting for Princess Aurora. Haley and Tommy are voting for Snow White. Like Heidi said, Austin is saying anyone other than Snow. Happy Travel Vlogs is voting for Snow White. Craig, welcome. Thanks for being here, is voting for Snow White. And Jason says Snow from Once Upon a Time, but since using animated snow, vote is Sleeping Beauty. What a good show Once Upon a Time is. That is one of the only shows that I've watched end to end, and I really, really thoroughly enjoyed it. And yes, if I didn't mention this earlier, this will be like animated versions of all of these princesses from all of like the Disney animation movies, except for, like I said, Jazelle, who we're using as a princess because she is one, not necessarily like an official under the banner Disney princess, but we're using her here today. So Snow White, moving on in the first round.
Nice.
Next up, we have Moana versus Merida. Again, Moana is one of those movies, like I know that we're not talking about movies here, but it's one of those that people just like love Moana. Like even like at the daycare that I work at, the kids love Moana. Like they know about Moana. Like some of them have like shirts of Moana. They know her song. So I think that she has a lot of impact and influence, but I think these are two both very strong, like independent princesses. And I
Yeah.
think this one is kind of tough, but which way do you want to go, Heidi?
I think I'm gonna vote for Moana. I
Yeah,
feel like I don't have a good reason though.
that's
Neither
fair.
like I like both of these princesses. I feel like neither one of them is necessarily like my favorite, but I like both of them.
Yeah.
And I know we're not judging movies, but I remember we tried to watch Brave one time, like kind of recently, and I was just like not having it for some reason. I think sometimes I need to be in the mood for the movie. It was not the time.
Yeah.
So again, I feel like I can't vote appropriately, but I'm gonna vote for Moana because I really like her like personality and the fact that she like likes water and all that stuff.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I think that Merida is one of those as well that I never like was really super into because it came out like a little while ago. I know that like Moana is one of those too where like it's not in my time, but when you love Disney, then you just like love all the movies. And I really, really do like Moana's like progression where she like really knows what she wants and I think really goes for it. Like she is like full blown into saving
Yeah.
like her people and stuff. And I just like her whole like journey and everything about her and like the aspects of her movie with like the water and stuff. I think is really great with her character. Like Merida is obviously a great like and powerful character that she is like her own person and wants her own things, which I fully respect and I think is super awesome as a character. And it's cool that she's like Pixar's only princess. I think is really awesome. But I'm also going to vote for Moana just because I think that I resonate with her more so than Merida. But we'll check out what the chat has to say. Craig is voting for Merida. So is Devin and Jason. And then Kennedy and Happy Travel Vlogs and Haley and Tommy are all voting for Moana. And Austin is voting for Merida.
Oh.
So we're very, very close there.
Yes, it's close.
Very close. We'll see if there's any other votes coming through. But I also use these pictures. They're all kind of the same except for a couple. And they're all from the Disney Princess website, which is fun. That in the back, they kind of have like little parts of the movie that are like
cool.
important, like Moana there with like the boat and Merida with like the bow and arrow. I thought that was pretty cool choice on my part. I'm like tooting my own horn, hyping myself up. Moana's winning. Moving on. Next up, we have Anna, who again is not considered an official on the website Disney princess, but we all know that like you got to have her on the list. That doesn't make sense. And then Belle, of course, who I think is one of those that was in that era where like the princesses kind of shifted into like very different character arc and like personalities and stuff, if that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which way do you want to go here, Heidi?
I don't know.
This is hard. I can go first then if you want me to go first. I'm going to go for Belle, of course. We all know that Belle is my favorite princess, and it's very, very close. Now, I think, though, with like some other ones that are kind of second and third. But Belle is my favorite. I just love her like character qualities. I think she's so great that she like is willing to sacrifice herself for her dad and be able to go through what she went through. And then really, I think like not only have the beast grow and change because of her, but also he brings a lot out of her as well, I think is really, really great. And I just love how she like is classified as like a different kind of person in her village and stuff. And people think that she's odd, but really she's just like an independent woman. I really, really like that. I think that's great. Anna, of course, I do love, and I think she has a great character arc as well and grows a lot. And sacrifices and is so brave and strong for like being there for her sister, and really is like in the first Frozen, like she saves her sister, which I think is really great. So they're both very strong and powerful, and I love the characters, but I'm gonna have to go Belle. What about you? It's tough.
It's tough because I'm not voting against the movie
Frozen, yeah. And like Anna's one of those, I think, where she like, I think that in the first movie, she was kind of like, oh, like I'm so in love, da 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 da. But then I think like they ended it where like the sister love that she has for Elsa is like the strongest love that she'll ever have. Like, whereas I think in the second movie, they kind of still play on that, but then she really kind of has to like like again go back to being alone and like
Mhm.
independent again. And I think that's like a really strong quality of hers, that she has always been alone
Mhm.
and had to grow like alone, which I think is kind of sad when you think about it.
Yeah. Mm.
It's tough.
It's tough because I used to, like, hate on Belle, even though I know that she's
But
not
then we
someone to
watched the
hate
movie.
on. Watch the movie, so I'm gonna vote for Belle, yes. I'm not gonna
Wow.
comment on it.
That's okay. Hey,
Sorry, Anna, I
it's
still love you.
it's unbiased. You're like taking your bias out of it, which
Mhm.
is great. Kennedy's voting for Belle, so is Austin and Devin and Craig, and then Haley and Tommy say Belle. She's top tier. This is a tough one for Anna. Yeah, some of the draws are tough. Jason's voting for Belle, so is Reb and Happy Travel Vlogs as well. And Young Merida, welcome in, is voting for Belle as well. So Belle's going to be moving on here again. Some of these are going to be tough, I think, and of course, as we move on farther, it's going to be very difficult. But for now, Belle's moving on. Next up on this side, we have Princess Tiana versus Pocahontas. Again, like Pocahontas was kind of in that era where, like with Belle, where like the princess kind of arc has changed. And of course, we all know Tiana. She's a newer Disney princess, sort of, I guess, in terms of the Disney princess characters. And she is one that people love, and people love her movie, and is now finally getting more representation in the parks. I think we need some more for Pocahontas as well. They could do lots with her, but do you know which way that you want to go, Heidi, or do you want me to take this one as well to
I
start
think
off?
I know which
You
way.
think you know which way do you want to go?
Yeah, I like both these princesses, but I think that I'm going to go with Tiana because I really like her story and how she's a very hard worker and she gets her goals for herself. And it's just beautiful to me. So that's why I'm gonna vote for her. But again, it's hard. It's
It
hard
is
to
hard.
vote
And it's hard when you put them all up there and you're like
There's, like,
essentially saying
different-
who's the best, but it's like they're all great, but like they're so different in so many different ways.
I
Like
know.
Pocahontas is very cool because she's very true to like her people and very like one with like nature and the earth and stuff, which is beautiful. Like, and then there's like, of course, like you said, Tiana is very strong, independent, and like pursues her goals and
Mhm.
like achieves them. Of course, I'm voting for Tiana. I love her so much. She's probably my second favorite princess, very close up there with Belle. And I just like love her whole thing. Like you said, I love that she wants this thing and she like loses her dad and then like still wants to like fulfill that dream. And she really like, I think a lot of stuff, of course, early with princesses was like they all end up with like the prince and stuff. And it's whole thing. I think that like she more so than anybody is like,
Stands like for her
yes,
storyline. Like
yeah, like on her own.
she never like
and she could stand on
fluctuates.
her own. But
Mhm.
like Naveen obviously is a great partner for her like in the end. But I think that it's just really cool how she like stands on her own and is like a really inspirational princess. And I do love how she's getting more representation. I can't wait for her ride. I can't wait to try her food in Disneyland at her restaurant. Great. So we'll see what the chat has to say. But we got 2 votes on our end for Princess Tiana. Kennedy is going with that frog. Going for Princess Tiana. Craig says my friends on the other side are telling me Pocahontas. Austin is voting for Tiana. Haley and Tommy say Pocahontas. The songs are fire. That's true. She does have really good songs. That's fair. And we'll touch on some princess songs later because I have an argument about princess songs as well. Devin says Pocahontas was always my favorite. And then Jason and Happy Travel Vlogs are voting for Princess Tiana. So close one there, but Tiana is going to edge her out there. I think that is a cool thing too. Like I know that Disney doesn't only do princess movies, but the princess movies got some good music, like really good music. I think there's like obviously like movies like Lion King and Hercules, and those movies have great like music, and like Tarzan, but the princesses themselves have some really good songs. So we're gonna have Tiana move on in this round, and we're gonna go back again. We do the one side and then it moves on to the other. So next up we have, like I said, the OG original princess Snow White versus Moana. Very different princesses here. Very different. Snow White is like the like old school princess, and then it's okay. And then Moana is very much so like yeah, like they're both at very opposite ends. You know which way you want to go? I also think that it's fun if we touch on, because we did like a whole ranking of like Disney animated movies, but like which of the movies we like better as well. I think is kind of fun, and we can all share that and have a discussion as well. But which way do you want to go with this? Are you unsure?
I'm sure, but it's kind of weird because I'm not voting for my favorite princess, I don't think. I think I'm voting for like a balance of my favorite, but also like the best, because we're
Like, who do you
voting for
think?
the
Yeah.
best princess. And like I feel like my favorite out of the two is Snow White.
Yeah.
And that's just like a random thing. I just like growing up, I really liked Snow White and I like how kind she is and things like that. But I think that like Moana has more of a story and more depth to her.
That's fair.
So I'm gonna vote for Moana, even though Snow White's is one of my favorites.
I would kind of agree. I feel like
It's hard.
yeah, like it's hard. I'm gonna vote for Moana as well because I just think that her character growth and progression and like the depth to her is like really great. Like it clearly shows that her movie is very still like people love her movie and love her story and love her. So clearly there's like something there. Snow White, of course, is great because of those qualities back then of like what a princess was to people. She embodied that. But I just think in like you said, like the best princess, I think that Moana just has way more depth to her. I really do like on the movie topic. I love the movie Snow White and I love watching it. I think that the evil queen is a great villain. I love the dwarfs, but then Moana, I also like, I love Maui. Maui's one of my favorite characters. The music to me is great. Shiny is like an underrated villain song. I know we're not talking about movies, but I just think that Moana has more depth to her. So I'm also going to vote for Moana.
Okay.
So far, are we in sync here a little bit?
Us, I think we are. Yeah.
We are in sync already. All right. Young Murda's voting for Snow White. Devin is voting for Moana. So is Haley and Tommy. Craig is voting for Snow White. Jason and Happy Travel Vlogs are voting for Moana. Kennedy. Oh, sorry. Young Murda voted for Moana. That must have been earlier. Kennedy's voting for Moana, and so is Young Murda. And then Kay is voting for Snow White all the way. And Austin is still anyone other than Snow. Very funny. Moana is moving on. I think that Moana is going to be a tough one. Tough cookie. Next up, oh my goodness. I didn't even realize, honestly, that when like the last round that this would even happen. This is hard.
Yeah, this is pretty tough.
Belle and Tiana. I really do think that they are very similar in a lot of ways though, which is why that I think that I like them so much. Wow. Do you know which way that you want to go, or you're like...
Yeah, I know.
Okay, you go for it.
I'm going to vote for Tiana because of her story. Like, I'm not voting for the movie. I'm talking about like her life, like her progression, the fact that she loses her dad and then she has this dream and she continues to work for it. So I'm going to vote for Tiana because I feel like it resonates with, like, she resonates with me more in that way. But it's hard because I also appreciate Belle now.
It's hard, and like I can see Austin in the chat saying no, because me and Austin have very similar taste in what princesses we like. We like the same ones. And even though Belle's my favorite, like I say she's number one, this is very hard because they both, like I said, embody like the same kind of things and are very like strong and I think very driven in different ways. Obviously, Belle is very driven like for her family. Like I know that Tiana is as well, but like that's her whole character arc, is that Belle like replaces herself with her father and stuff, whereas like Tiana like embodies her father in trying to pursue her dreams, which I think is really beautiful. So this is like really, really hard for me, but I just think like because she's my favorite and I say that she's my favorite, it's got to be Belle. It's very close, but I'm gonna say it's Belle, which is tough. I like this is like elite of the elite for me in this round, but it's got to be Belle. So we'll see what the chat has to say. Devin is voting for Belle, so is Haley and Tommy. Kennedy's voting for Tiana. Craig and Happy Travel Vlogs and Young Murda all voting for Belle. Like I said, Austin is saying no, not happy with this outcome. Jason and Kay are voting for Tiana, and then Austin ultimately decides the same as me and votes for Belle. That was a tough one. Very, very tough one. But Belle, moving on. And then the final round on this side is going to be Moana versus Belle. Again, I think very strong princesses, but very different because of their goal and kind of their storyline. So is this easy for you? More difficult?
This is more difficult.
See, this one's easier for me than Belle and Tiana. Belle and Tiana was my like toughie. I'm voting for Belle because I like her. I like her better. And I already said stuff about her before about just so I love her. I love Moana though more so. Every time that I like see more Moana stuff and I watch more about her, like I really do enjoy her. And I think it's great that like people love like her and like little girls love her and little kids love her. Like this one little boy the other day, like at the daycare, we had Disney music on and he was loving How Far I'll Go. And I was like, this is so great. Like it's so fun how like these movies hold the test of time, but I'm still gonna vote for Belle because yeah, this one's easier for me than her and Tiana.
Okay.
What about you?
I'm gonna vote for Belle.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think that after watching Beauty and the Beast, you
I appreciate
her.
The whole joke was because she's your
Yeah.
favorite princess. But
Yeah,
then once I watched it, I was like, oh, I kind of like her because she's like, she does her own thing and she doesn't really care about what other people think. And she's also smart and also.
Yeah, and I think that she
a lot of things.
Yeah, so many things. And then I think that it's such a great movie. Definitely give it a rewatch. Beauty and the Beast if you haven't, of course. Great movie, great songs, and like super great like visual stuff. Like that ballroom scene that's in that picture. I love it so much. And I think that Belle is just great. I'll stop gushing about her on this live stream.
Where are we at?
I think that we're right here with Haley and Tommy.
Okay.
Kicking us off with Moana. Craig is voting for Belle. Kennedy's voting for Moana. Devon's is not easy, but I vote for Belle. Austin votes for Belle. Jason votes for Moana. Kay is voting for Belle. And Happy Travel Vlogging says so hard, but going to go with Moana. Very tough and very close. This is the last round of this side of the bracket. So if you're new and just hopping in, give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you're new, and stay tuned till the end of the live for some little fun chats and discussion and some fun stuff. But I think this one is going to be Belle by 1 or 2 votes. Very close in the end for Belle. Next up on the other side to go up against Belle will be all of these princesses competing. The first round is Elsa versus Jasmine. I think that I know which way you're going, so you go ahead.
I love Elsa. I won't say much this time because unless people I see are voting for Jasmine, then I'll have to speak up. But to me, the character depth does not compare. Yeah. So I will vote for Elsa. No.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
But
people don't like Elsa, which I don't understand why.
This is my thing. And I'll bring it out now. I think that the Frozen fatigue has gotten to people where because they heard like,
oh my gosh,
Let It Go.
Voting for Jasmine. I'm gonna lose it.
Let It Go on the radio, and like Frozen is so overplayed. I think that it gets overlooked about how great a character Elsa really is.
Yeah.
I know that Jasmine is like a great like same thing, kind of like independent and stuff. But I love the movie Aladdin, but I never connected with like Jasmine in the way that so many people do. And I know like we've talked about princesses like before, and people love Jasmine, and I just never understood why that she's like a top tier princess to people. And that could be a hot take, could be like slander, but I just like every time that I watch that movie, I'm like, she's cool, she's fine, but like she's never to me. I'm like, she's so awesome and so great.
She's not the like she's like a secondary character. So to me, it's like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like to me, the movie is Aladdin and the genie, and then it's just like Jasmine is just there.
Yeah, I think for me, again, like having Frozen 1 and Frozen 2 and everything in between that we've gotten, Elsa's character has like grown so much. Yeah. And I just think, again, with like, I'm going to bring it up here. Show yourself. I know people don't like Frozen songs, and I'm bringing up songs because that is like a culmination of like.
But also, Let It Go was literally on the radio.
Yeah.
So
it's got to be great. And it still has stood the test.
I get that it was overplayed, but.
Yeah.
I'm just very sad right now.
And again, if anyone wants to enlighten on the Jasmine thing, that's fair. Like why you voted for Jasmine versus Elsa again.
We're voting for Jasmine. Remember that, everyone. Like, not the movie. We're not voting for Frozen versus Aladdin. We're voting for Jasmine.
Maybe people just don't like Elsa. I don't know.
I guess. Well,
it could be.
It hurts my heart.
But I'm voting for Elsa. I think Elsa's great. And even though it's overplayed and stuff, and Frozen is kind of like hit the thing where they're doing Frozen 3 and people are like, why are we doing Frozen 3? I just think Elsa's a great character. So my vote's also Elsa. Devin is voting for Elsa. Haley and Tommy are voting for Jasmine.
Yeah.
Craig and Jason and Kay are all voting for Jasmine as well. Anthony's voting for Elsa. Kennedy's voting Elsa, but to be honest, doesn't love either of them. Austin's voting for Elsa, and Happy Travel Vlogs is voting for Jasmine and says Aladdin was one of my favorite movies growing up, as was it for me. I love Aladdin so much. Such a great movie.
I'm stressed.
It's okay. I just think that Frozen 2 especially really solidified me that like Elsa's my third favorite. If I'm like ranking princesses, it's Belle, Tiana, and Elsa. I think for me, with like Rapunzel very close. And we'll get to her later, but I really, really do love those three. See, Anthony says, let it go is still above and show yourself as chef's kiss. There we go. Are we moving on here? There's no further votes?
Nope.
No further votes.
That was like the closest ever.
That was very close.
Was shocking to me.
And Elsa is moving on by 1 vote.
I need to talk to some Jasmine people.
Yeah, we can enlighten us on Jasmine. We got to rewatch Aladdin.
Clearly, and I got to pay attention more.
Next up, we have Raya from Raya and the Last Dragon, and then Cinderella. Again, Raya is very new. I don't know if like everybody saw Raya because it kind of came out in that like pandemic era. Cinderella, of course, a classic. We've seen Raya one time, and I don't like remember like fully all about her. I think she's a great character. I remember that I loved like Sisu in the movie, and like it was very like visual. I think that she, of course, these are 2 very different princesses, whereas like Raya is again kind of like the warrior, independent princess, and then Cinderella is of course more so that quintessential princess, but also I think kind of like strayed a little bit from the like Snow White, Aurora, where she's very like I think kind, but also like knows what she wants and stuff. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I just think that she's more like kind of independent as well and still very sweet. But yeah, which way do you want to go? I think I know.
I know mine. Cinderella, because Cinderella for me was my favorite princess growing up. I loved watching her, and yeah, she's just so sweet.
Yeah, she to me, I think over the last I guess like few years, when I think of Disney princess, I think of Cinderella.
She's like the classic.
She is like, and I think it's because of like Walt Disney World with like the Cinderella castle and stuff, but I just think that she has like the fairy godmother and like the animals, and like she just seems very classic and quintessential Disney princess to me.
And she's like kind of like magic, like her story's like magical.
Yeah, and I don't know, like, and again, like it's still all about like the prince and stuff, but she also I think just like wants like a better life for herself than what she has.
Yeah, and it makes me just want her to be like, stop. Like
I know in the movie you're like, guys, yeah, seriously, leave this girl alone. I'm also voting for Cinderella because I just think, like I said, she's quintessential Disney princess. And when I think of Disney princess, I think of her. I think that Raya is great. I like, again, we haven't revisited her movie, but we should. But I do think she is very cool and very different as well from like the Disney princess mold. But I'm gonna have to vote for Cinderella. Happy Travel Vlogs and Jessica and Devin are all voting for Cinderella. Kennedy is voting for Cinderella as well with the emojis. I love that. Jason's voting for Raya. Haley and Tommy and Kay are voting for Cinderella. Craig is voting for Cinderella, and Llama Floof, welcome in, is voting not for Raya and says Raya deserves last place by with period. 2 periods, as a matter of fact. And Anthony votes for Cindy. 21 friends in here. Welcome. Thanks for being here. And if you're just hopping in, be sure to like it. And Jason has thrown his shoe at Llama Floof.
That's funny.
Very funny. I love it so much. But Jason threw Raya a vote, which is great. Again, you're going to have to revisit that movie because like I do know that I liked it. I remember seeing it like in the theater. We saw it during COVID. We had our masks on and stuff. Austin having to defend. I was gonna say Caitlin loves Raya. That's one thing. Like Caitlin really loves Raya and like Turning Red and Merida, like and stuff. I think a lot of underrated stuff, which is very cool. So Austin standing up. If he could, he would throw a shoe at Llama Floof as well, maybe with you, Jason. And then we have another vote from Reb for Cinderella. So Cinderella is moving on while some shoes are being thrown in the live chat. Next up, we have Mulan versus Ariel. And we have some stuff in the chat here. Devin saying, I don't know Raya's story. And Llama Floof says, Austin, you don't get it. Very funny. More than a shoe. I love it. This is so fun. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us, guys. But yeah, Mulan versus Ariel. Again, I think that after like
a live action.
Yes, and being told more about Ariel, I do appreciate her more because again, in my original
We used to
thought
slander
process, I
Ariel
would
all
be
the
like
time.
Ariel, yeah, because all she wants is the prince and gives her legs up for the prince, but really,
She
or
doesn't
sorry,
want the
gives
prince. She wants
her voice up.
to live a different life.
Yeah, she wants like a different life, which I
Yeah.
think is really great. And more so when I think about it, I'm like,
Good for you, girl.
that's really cool and good for you. So I will stop slandering Ariel.
Yeah. But
Mulan is for you. You love Mulan.
I love Mulan. She's one of my favorites. She's so powerful and so brave, and is like essentially she like takes the biggest risk, goes and does that for her dad and her family and stuff. And yeah, she kills it. So
I think that Mulan's kind of underrated, like the movie itself as well.
The movie's so good.
I think that it's really, really good.
But we're not talking about the movie.
No, I know, but I'm just saying that I think that it's underrated, like on the topic of movies. I think, of course, people love Ariel, rightfully so, like after like further inspection on her. I think that she is a great character, and I think again the part of her. No, this is turned around. This used to be an Ariel slander show.
I know, we used to really not like her
because I was just like, she gives up her voice for legs to go be with the prince, but it's not that at all. Like we just said, she wants like a better life and like a different life, which I think is really brave that she did that. This one's a tough one for me. Again, I think in terms of princesses, like these are not two that are my favorites. I think that I'll go Mulan slightly now, just because I think, again, she's very powerful and gives up a lot and like really wants to like prove herself and like just like jumps into.
Austin's saying, do you really like Mulan though? Yes, Austin.
Heidi does really like Mulan.
Maybe he's
talking about me, maybe. But I just think, again, this one's close. Like I said, they're not two of my favorite princesses. So I just think in terms of their like development and stuff,
I can't believe you almost voted for Ariel.
I like Mulan. No, I just wanted to like set the record straight that I'm not the biggest ever Ariel hater. That's Haley and Tommy.
Clearly.
I'm still on the Ariel slander train. Oh, Austin saying he really likes Mulan. He's not calling us out.
Oh.
He's saying, do you really like Mulan though? Look, Austin, Heidi right away thought that you're calling her out for her fake fandom
I was like,
of Mulan.
Austin, that's so mean, calling me out.
That is funny. Jessica's voting for Mulan. Haley and Tommy are voting for Mulan. Devin's voting for Ariel. Craig is voting Mulan. Kennedy's voting for Ariel. Happy Travel Vlogs is voting Ariel 1000%. Jason and Kay are voting for Mulan. Anthony says this one's tough, but cartoon-wise, Mulan. Austin's voting for Ariel and says, but he does really like Mulan. I don't know why in my head
I was like, I thought it said, do you really like Mulan? I was like, yes.
Very funny. And then Haley and Tommy say, I'm still on the Ariel slander train, like I already brought up. And Austin, like I said, saying no. And Jessica says, now that I'm older, I can see that Ariel was just chasing a boy. Oh, so Jessica's opposite of me.
Jessica is.
There we go, Jessica. And Llama Floof says Mulan would win in a boxing match.
We should have done that instead.
Well, so you know what? So like I thought about this like the other day. How funny would it be if one day we came on here and like back in the old day of like the heyday of when like it was the pandemic and we were doing YouTube like sit down videos. Jess and Nico from Princess and the Sith would do a thing on like Instagram Live where they would do like a Disney death battle was what they called it.
Oh yeah.
And it would be two characters that basically it was like a bracket like this, but they would go head to head. Who would win in a fight? And I thought about I thought about taking that from them and bringing it here one episode and message them and say, is it okay if we have your blessing to borrow your idea of a Disney battle? We're not going to call it the same,
because that was really funny, because
it was really funny.
People would be like talking about like the characters like size and like actual like
and you'd say like no, like I remember one of them was like David from Lilo and Stitch and they said no, he's strong, he would like whatever
David
and stuff.
But it'd be like it could be like creaky and like
random.
Some big character.
I think that's next up. I had that idea the other day when I thought about it. I was like, it always says like versus, and we never really dive into like if it actually was a bracket fight versus who would win. But then I didn't know if that was something that people would like.
I think it's funny because then you can take it however you want,
and it would just be random. Like it could be Mulan versus Sven. You know what I mean? Super random. So yeah, Llama Floof I think is really on this idea.
Yeah, Llama Floof.
Llama Floof is like, I've been waiting for this all my life. Do it. That sounds like so much fun. All right, well, we're gonna message them and ask for their blessing with that idea. Tori says, I love Ariel, but Mulan is definitely better overall. And Jessica says, I'm not a fan of Elsa, but she would destroy everyone. In the princess bracket, I think for sure she would take the cake in Llama Floof. Yes, yes, yes. All right, we're going to do it.
Okay.
We're open to suggestions for the idea of not Disney Death Battle, because that was Jess and Nico's and sounds so aggressive. Maybe there's something else there. It was so fun. Villains versus princesses, very fun. Devin says, Mulan, moving on over Ariel, right?
Yes.
Sorry. All right, here's now where Jazelle is. And again, I talked about this earlier, that Jazelle is not an official Disney princess, but she, like, again, to make the numbers work with having 8 and 8 on each side, I like looked at them and was like, of all like the other characters, who is most like a princess? And she actually is a princess. Again, we talked about at the beginning that we're not sure. Again, when you look up like Asha from Disney Wish, it says she's not a princess. Other places do say that she is one. We haven't seen Wish, of course, because it hasn't come out yet, but maybe by the end of that movie, she will be one. And we didn't want to put her in here because that movie hasn't come out yet. So even though she's on the thumbnail, I'm going to edit that because she's not a part of this. But Jazelle is, who is from Enchanted. Again, the animated version on the left there. But of course, there's the other stages of her, just so everybody knew who she was. And then Rapunzel, of course, from Tangled. All that being said, Heidi, is this a hard one for you or pretty simple?
No, it's simple, but I love Jazelle. I just have to say that. I love that movie, which we're not talking about the movies, but I love that movie and I love her. She's so fun. Anyways, but I'm still going to vote for Rapunzel because I love Rapunzel. I love how she's just so sweet. And she has like magic elements, which I don't know why in my head I think princesses like magic. I don't know why I think that, but I just like her. I think she's just so cute to watch her in the movie when she like goes out and for the first time and she's just like, I don't know, her personality. She's always just so happy despite the circumstances. So I love that.
Yeah, like, and I think that she's just very like optimist. I think that she wants to see what the world is like out there. Again, like she's been basically held like hidden away from the real world. I think that Jazelle is very unique because she is just like, again, kind of on like the way of like a Snow White, where she's just so
sweet.
Typical sweet princess. And then when she comes into the real world, she's like naive of like what the world is like, because she thinks it's like rainbows and unicorns and stuff. And then I think rubs off on everybody.
Yeah,
which I think is also really sweet, that we need a little bit more of like Jazelle in the world. But I'm going to vote for like Rapunzel. I love her story. I love her spirit. They are kind of similar.
Similar where like for both of them, they kind of just like are like a bit naive. And then because of that, whoever they meet, they're able to kind of like rub off on them a little bit. I knew that people would be excited about having like Jazelle in this bracket though, because I think Enchanted's a movie that has no representation. And in my research, like I'll say about Disney princesses, they were going to use her as an official Disney princess, but they would have to, I guess, pay her rights to use her face and stuff, like Amy Adams, the actress. And at that time, they didn't want to. I don't know how true that is. That's what I saw in my research. But I'm going to vote for Rapunzel. But I'm glad that we can include Jazelle in here because that movie's iconic. And I think she's a great princess. Jason votes for Jazelle. Devin and Haley and Tommy are voting for Rapunzel. Anthony, super into Jazelle. Jazelle is greater. Kennedy says, stop. These are literally my two favorites. This is not fair. Got to pick my NYC queen, though. Jazelle. Very fun. Jessica says, Punzi, she's a survivor. Disney World freak. Welcome in. Thanks for being here. They are celebrating their anniversary. Well, thank you for celebrating your anniversary. Yes, and congratulations. What an honor that you're here with us on your anniversary. Thank you so much. Llama Floof says, Jazelle, hashtag blindside. Uh-oh. Craig's voting Rapunzel, so is Happy Travel Vlogs. Disney World Freak says, love Jazelle, but I relate to Rapunzel. Devin read a book about Mother Gothel's life, and she didn't start off evil. Very cool. I mean, is that one of those like Twisted Tale books? Oh, yeah, those are good.
If it is, those look really good. You have one here, I think, right? It's like a Frozen one or something?
I read it.
And you did read it.
You're like,
I was going to say, you have it here. Maybe did you read it? Tori votes Rapunzel, and Kay is also voting for Rapunzel. Disney World Freak says, we love seeing you guys and your young love. Wow, what a kind thing. That is so sweet. Rapunzel is moving on, though. Jazelle put up a good fight, though. Some votes for her. Iconic as well.
She's cool.
We're going back up the other side of the bracket.
This is hard for
and
me,
we
guys.
have Elsa, who squeaked out the first round against who? Against Jasmine by one vote.
Yeah.
going up against Cinderella.
This is like my growing up,
Yeah,
my
childhood.
growing up love and my current love right here. We're coming together.
Is it hard for you? Like, do you want me
Yeah.
to go first? I'll go first.
I don't know who to vote for.
I'm voting Elsa. I have already said before in like the Jasmine round that I love Elsa. I know she just barely squeaked it out. I don't know if it's the Frozen thing, but I think again her character development very powerful. I think again from the first movie when she's unsure that she's going to hurt everybody and all the stuff, then she like embraces who she is and finds like herself really. And I'm excited to see whatever they do more with her in Frozen 3. And again, I'm not going to bring into songs and all this, but Show Yourself is just, when I worked Fantasmic and I had that in the show, like incredible. So good. Cinderella's great though. Like I said, to me, she's like a quintessential Disney princess. When I think of Disney princess, I think of Cinderella first, but I got to go Elsa. What about you?
Yeah, after hearing you speak, I kind of then came to the conclusion that I was letting my like growing up favorite princess, the fact that she's my favorite, but I have to remember that we're voting for the best. And I think that Elsa has more depth. So I'm voting for Elsa.
Wow.
Yes.
Very good. So 2 votes on our end for Elsa. We've been pretty in sync. I think
Have we
not
voted
like
the same,
fully.
are we?
I don't really know. I think that you voted for Tiana one time, or did you vote like for Belle over Tiana?
No, I voted for Tiana.
Yeah, so we're close. We're almost in sync, Heidi.
Oh, because you voted for Belle.
Yeah. Haley and Tommy are with us voting for Elsa. Jessica is voting for Cinderella. Lama Floof says Elsa going all the way. Wow, there we go.
Lama Floof missed the fact that Jasmine almost beat Elsa, so I don't know
1
how you
vote.
feel about that. But
Craig is voting for Cinderella. Devin says this is hard, but I vote for Elsa. That was a Cinderella and now an Elsa.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Austin and Anthony are voting for Elsa. Kay is voting for Cinderella. Happy Travel Vlogs and Kennedy are voting for Elsa. And Disney World Freaks has got to say Cinderella. Frozen drove me nuts when it first came out. And mine and Steve nicknames online dating was Cinderella and Prince Charming. Love it so much. Again, kind of close, but
not
Elsa,
as close as last time,
not as close as Jasmine. Yeah. Elsa.
Good job, Elsa.
Moving on. Next up, Mulan versus Rapunzel. Very different princesses as well, I would say. Some here.
Some of my favorites that I like.
Yeah. Do you know which way you want to go, or do you need some time? You already know. You go first, then Heidi, go for it. Mulan or Rapunzel?
Voting for Rapunzel because for me, again, I like both of these characters. I feel like they're pretty different, I would say. They're almost like the opposite sort of characters. I think Mulan's more like serious and Rapunzel's more unserious.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, they are very different for sure.
Yeah. And I feel like their storylines are like completely different. So, but I'm going to vote for Rapunzel because Rapunzel's personality for me just like shines through everything. I think that she, despite everything that she goes through, she's so positive and just so kind. And I just love it. So love that. Voting for her.
Yeah, this one like is like you said, very different where like Mulan's very serious and like a warrior, and Rapunzel is more so.
But I still love Mulan.
Yes, it's still great, but like Rapunzel is just like very opposite, where she is like again like bubbly and like sunshine and stuff of like just like wants the world to be great because she hasn't seen it. So for me, Rapunzel is my vote. I love her. I just love her spirit. I love her vibe. Mm-hmm. And I think again that she has like a lot of growth as well. I think that like Mulan does as well, like in her movie, from where she starts to ends and stuff for like the matchmaker stuff and then becoming a warrior and then like saving China is like a pretty cool arc. But I just think that like Rapunzel going from being kept away to then like realizing what the world is and then thinking that people are still out to get her, but really people are like trying to be kind to her, like Flynn Rider, who she changes like really to be kind. He's like a scoundrel type of guy. People love him though, but she changes him. So I'm voting for Rapunzel. All that being said, we have Craig is voting for Rapunzel. Haley and Tommy voting for Mulan. Jessica says this one's hard, but voting Mulan. Jason is voting Mulan. Devin and Kennedy and Happy Travel Vlogs all voting for Rapunzel. Kay is voting Mulan. Lama Floof with an emphatic vote for Mulan. Disney World Freak Rapunzel. So is Austin. And Devin says the Tangled the series was great. There you go. Haven't checked it out, but I've heard great things about it. But Rapunzel, is moving on to go up against Elsa.
Oh wow.
Elsa and Rapunzel. This is your toughie where I had my tough of Belle and Tiana.
Yeah, this is my tough.
You have your Elsa and Rapunzel. Tough.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yes. I recently have come to the conclusion because I always used to say this doesn't make sense. Who's my favorite Disney character? I would always say, what did I say? I said Elsa's my favorite, but she's a queen, so Rapunzel's my favorite princess, which doesn't really make sense, but that's how I rationalized it. But I think that my favorite princess is Rapunzel because of her personality.
Yeah.
For her personality just shines through for me. I love it. But I also love Elsa. So
this one's hard for me because there's one that I like better. But if I was ranking princesses, this would be my 3 and 4. Yeah. We kind of talked about this of my top. It was Belle, Tiana, Elsa, and I think like Rapunzel's 4th. Very close with Elsa. But I just think that again, they're both very different. Like Elsa's kind of more serious, like Mulan is, I think. But I think like after Frozen 2 has more depth to her, which I like appreciate. That I think that she like again in the first movie, they didn't really do much with her where like it seemed like she was like the villain sort of, and it was like Anna's story that like Anna is going through this like journey and Elsa's kind of like shutting everybody out. Yeah. But then like in Frozen 2, I think she really finds herself. Rapunzel's great and I love her so much and I love her spirit and like I said, her vibe, but I'm voting for Elsa because I think Elsa's great. I love her progression. I love the story with her. I love the character growth and I'm excited to see what they do with her. So I'm voting Elsa. We're split on this one. We'll see what the chat has to say. I think that we are right here. Or maybe right here. Disney World Freaks of Steve just yelled Punzi in honor of my mom. LOL. There you go. Maybe that's a vote this round or it was last round. We shall see. Devin's voting for Rapunzel. So is Jessica and Kennedy. Lama Floof is voting Elsa. Craig says love Elsa, but gotta stay with Rapunzel. Disney World Freak says Punzi for Steve and Elsa for my Disney princess grandbaby. Very cute. I love it. Kay's voting Rapunzel. Haley and Tommy Rapunzel. Lama Floof says what's so good about Rapunzel? And Happy Travel Vlogs is voting for Elsa.
Her spirit, Lama Floof. It's carrying her to victory.
Is that a good answer, Lama Floof? Her spirit?
Probably not.
Will you accept that answer?
I won't.
Who's moving on, Heidi?
Rapunzel.
Rapunzel has taken down Elsa. And again, Austin's voting Rapunzel, which I figured was coming from Austin. Austin likes Rapunzel as well. So does Caitlin. But like this is also hard for Caitlin, I would assume, if she was here as well, because she loves Elsa as well. Rapunzel. Moving on. And in our finale, again, this was much shorter than our 3-hour villains because there's only 16 princesses, but we're going to chat about some stuff. Don't worry. Is Belle, who's my favorite, up against Rapunzel, who's your favorite? Yeah. Which this wasn't planned this way.
No, but I kind of expected this.
I expected this as well. I didn't know, again, of course, when I hit random and it like populates all the characters, I had thought of some that would be heavy hitters like Belle, Rapunzel, Tiana, I thought would be up there. And I wasn't sure about like Elsa because I knew maybe people don't love Elsa. But I had kind of thought that those 3, Belle, Rapunzel, Tiana, and maybe Moana would be like a dark horse. But I thought that those kind of would be the 4 where we kind of be around, which has kind of shown true a little bit. I think that it was tough on the other side. It was Belle, Tiana, Moana made it far. I would assume that you're going to vote Rapunzel. Yeah. And I'm going to vote for Belle. Yes. Is how we're going.
My argument.
Yeah, go for it. You can say your argument.
Is despite everything she goes through, Rapunzel is just so kind. Yeah. And I feel like, to me, like that's, well, first of all, this is the other thing that I thought of. I didn't realize that, like, in my head, I thought that to be a princess, you had to be like born to royalty. But then I realized that like most of these princesses are married to a prince and that's how they become royalty, which is that technically a princess? Like that's what I didn't understand. That, to me, that doesn't make sense because in real life, does that happen?
This is going to open up a whole everybody.
Anyways, we're not going to talk about that, but there's that thought came across my head today. And the reason I'm voting for Rapunzel is because despite everything she goes through, she's still kind. And to me, like in my head, that's what I think a princess is. It's like they're just like kind and like have a good spirit and whatever. Da 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 da. And I just want to vote for her, so that's why I'm voting for her.
That's fair. I'm gonna vote for Belle. We all know she's my favorite, but I also just think she like embodies, I think, that shift in when princesses kind of change from that
she does.
older style to like she's kind of paved the way to me for all these other princesses. And I just think that again, her like whole character arc, like in the same kind of way where like Rapunzel has a good one. I think that Belle does it like as well. She like I just think has a really good story. And I think goes from being like people think that she's weird, odd, and different to then she's the one who like changes the beast and sacrifices her well-being for her father. I just think it's a really beautiful story and she's my favorite. So I'm voting for Belle. We'll see what the chat has to say on this one. Llama Floof kicking it off right away with a vote for Belle. Haley and Tommy voting for Belle as well. Disney World Freak, 2 votes for Rapunzel because of her and Steve. Austin is voting for Belle. Jessica's voting for Rapunzel. So is Kennedy. Jason says, oh crud, so now we're also voting for Brandon or Heidi.
Yep. No, I'm just kidding. I would be offended.
Austin says Llama Floof is finally making a good decision tonight. Very funny. Kay votes for Rapunzel and Craig is voting for Belle. And Llama Floof says, I have a few good takes now and then. Aaron says, got to be Belle, but Rapunzel is my second favorite. So this is a perfect 2. There we go.
Where's Caitlin?
Jason with a vote here. I guess I will vote for Brandon.
Where's Caitlin?
I mean, Belle.
I know she's over on the coast there, but she needs to get in this live right now to help me out.
We'll leave it open for like a few more seconds for other votes because it is very close. I'm not going to say what the vote is.
Caitlin would vote for Rapunzel.
It's very close. I'm sure that she would. See, me and Austin are the same in that way, and so are you and Caitlin, which is great. It's a beautiful friendship. And Haley and Tommy are with me. They voted Belle, which thanks, Haley and Tommy. No, I think that this is
Haley. Are they both voting for Belle?
That's true. Maybe they both have different votes.
Another vote.
Amy votes Rapunzel, and Llama Floof says Belle on top. It's very close still. Jessica says, who won the villain bracket? I think it was Scar, right?
Is that who won?
Yeah, it was Scar versus Cruella, and I'm pretty sure that Scar won.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Scar. I if my memory serves me correct, it was Scar and Cruella.
He's pretty villainous.
And I think that it was pretty close, but then yeah, people said that he's very villainous and people couldn't forgive Scar for what he did. Maybe someone in the chat knows for sure, but that's my recollection in my memory
don't even remember anything.
Is that it was Scar and Cruella again, and then we switched it up with a lighter note this time doing princesses, not villains. But what I'll essentially say here is that it's tied for Belle and Rapunzel.
It has to be. We have to like set a timer because.
Well, we're just gonna take the next vote that comes in.
Okay, vote Rapunzel.
It's the next vote. It's the next vote that comes in. Belle or Rapunzel.
Rapunzel, if you're watching.
Jessica says that Scar deserves it, and Llama Floof said if Belle wins, it's the best bracket so far.
Llama Floof.
High praise, Llama Floof. Love it. Yeah, I think that these are like a great final 2. I really like the final 4 that we had. What?
No, I can see the chat here on my phone quicker.
It's coming up already. My second vote goes to Belle and my dog, says Belle. Very funny. Tommy is also Belle. So that's 2 votes for Belle, and that is it. But it was very close. Literally 1 vote.
I'm sad. I'm just kidding. No, it's respectable.
Yeah, Rapunzel made it very far. That was a great one. Julie voted for Rapunzel right as it ended there, so that would have been close.
Sorry, Julie.
So sorry, Julie.
Thank you, Julie.
Brandon declares it a tie. He's getting married, so good call.
Yeah.
Very funny. We took the last vote. It was so close on our end. Tommy voted for Belle and Julie voted Rapunzel, but that 1 vote.
I'll remember that, Tommy. I'll remember that.
That's very funny. I can't see here. I have to always do this. Save. Please add a title. I always do this.
Princess.
Disney Princess.
Llama Floof is going to throw a big party now.
Let's finish her Princess. Oh, okay. Sure.
Why does it say that?
I don't know. It just always does this. But anyway, we're just going to pull this off and I'll finish it after.
There we go.
But Belle is the winner of our princess bracket. I don't have anything Belle to hold up here. After party stream.
After parties.
We're gonna keep it going
The
just a
big
little bit
seven.
here, so nobody leave unless you have to leave. But this was like a shorter 1 hour. This was like before
We're
we
gonna
used
chat. We used to just chat.
we used to
and,
just
like,
chat. We used to have a like
We used to have guests.
yeah, how this
That
like
was so fun.
started, which if
Can we
nobody
do that
knows,
again?
we're gonna do that. We got some stuff planned.
Okay.
But this started off as like we'd have a guest from like another YouTube channel that would come, and it started with Haley and Tommy.
And we were also inspired by like a lot of other people
Who would do-
previously to
yeah.
us. There was a lot of great people who did live streams all the
Yes.
time, and they invited us.
We'd
for
hang
our
out
live
like
stream.
Disney Dan and
Yeah.
Mouse Talk and those people that we
Meg.
just always love. Meg,
Yeah, so like there was a lot of people that we loved and still do love, but a lot of them don't live stream anymore.
Yeah.
And so we were on their channels, and then we were like, this is so fun. Why don't we do it on our channel? And we did, and we loved it. And then why did we stop doing that?
Well, like I just think that it kind of again like everybody got busy after COVID, and it was kind of like everybody went their own, like they had their own stuff, and then we kind of wanted to add like some different stuff,
Yeah,
like
we
some
did
games and fun
things.
stuff and brackets and rankings and stuff. So I think we've kind of like encompassed everything into one thing. But we'll get into some more like fun stuff of that as well. But Belle is our winner. We're going to chat about a few things here as well. I'm going to pull up a couple things here. Be sure to follow us on Instagram if you don't, at sunnytimestwo, and on TikTok. We posted some stuff today because applications are open for Disney's cultural exchange program. So if anyone is international here and is a student and you want to work for Disney, applications are open. Go apply. I post in our story about applications. You can go to the Disney Careers website and check that out. Yes, if you're interested, I highly recommend. I loved my time there. Also, I'll pull this up here. We picked a wedding venue. Crazy, which we will document stuff here, of course, on Instagram as well. We'll be more current of like when stuff happens, but we're going to have some videos of like our whole process. And like planning and stuff, and then hopefully
because we want to have it like to look back on for ourselves personally, so
and
might as well just
maybe you're interested in that, maybe you're not. Who knows?
Doing it anyways.
But we also will hopefully have our wedding day filmed in some capacity.
Well, we want to do it,
so that'll be fun. I'm sure that you guys would love that. That'll be a fun video.
So funny
for sure. So hopefully like thumbs up for wedding content and life
thumbs
stuff
up for me.
I'm excited about it. And then because December's right around the corner, we're gonna have some holiday live streams.
I love that
planned. Sunny sit down, and instead of a sun on this graphic, it's a wreath.
Nice.
But yes, in December we'll have a couple Christmas themed live streams. Now that I'm excited about the next live stream, I think might have to be this Disney battle. We could do a couple of those. I think this could be we essentially, because we don't want it to be 5 hours long. We could do like little segments, and maybe then take like the winners or something, and then put them together,
like a victory.
We should do it like a conference.
We should do a I have an idea. No one's gonna like this unless you watch the show. We should do a Dancing with the Stars Disney edition. Who would win Dancing with the Stars? Does anyone watch Dancing with the Stars? Because I do.
Heidi loves.
I love it. It's like my Roman Empire. I think about it every 5 minutes. Anyways.
That is very funny.
I'm gonna do that on my own time if no one else wants to.
Sunniest wedding ever. Yes.
Woo-hoo.
So fun. Craig says, I'm in the US, but just got accepted to the Disney College program. So I might be there at the same time as you. Wow. I have not decided whether to apply or not, is my thing.
Yeah.
It's tough. I think it's one of those things where I loved it so much, and I'm so glad that I did it. And of course I want to do it again. But it's tough. It's like logistically tough is what I'll say about it. I think for like our situation of like, obviously we have like our rent here and all the things. So let's just plan that out. But I'm undecided if I should apply. I don't know what everybody feels about that, but that's what I'll say about it is that I'm
should Brandon apply to the program, everyone? Did
people like when I was down working in Disney and posting vlogs of the college program? People hated that. Craig says your videos made me so excited about it. I'm so glad, Craig. I really appreciate that, and I'm hopeful you will have so much fun. Oh my gosh! If you ever need anything if you need anything or have any questions, just feel free to send a message. I've been going through some Instagram messages. I'm horrible at it. Life's been so busy. So if anyone watching has sent a message and I haven't got back, I really apologize. But life's just been so busy and I'm staying on top of it. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at with the applications. Haley and Tommy said they'll be our behind the scenes.
That's actually perfect though. We should just give a
videographer.
bunch of people cameras to film their
We could.
because we'll have a few people. Yeah.
And
that'd be
Jason
great,
is so
guys.
sweet. Jason,
That's really nice.
by no means do you have to do that. You are too kind, Jason. Seriously. And Llama Flu says a death match and then dancing. Very funny. And Kennedy's also unsure.
Apply, Kennedy.
Apply. Kennedy, apply.
Kennedy, apply.
Cassandra, welcome in. Says apply, Kennedy.
Kennedy, apply.
And Brandon.
Brandon, apply. Anyone in the chat, apply.
It's just hard. I don't know. Kennedy, we're going to chat about it.
Yeah, chat about it.
Because really,
we need to start playing.
Do people want me to apply?
And then you can go.
Cassandra wants me to apply, and Kennedy. Llama Flu says, I thought you could only do the program once. You cannot. You can do the program multiple times as long as you're enrolled in school or you like recently graduated within, like, so for example, if I graduated in April, I could still do the program that following May. I still have a year and a half left of school. So like essentially next summer is my last possible chance is really what it is, because the summer after we're getting married and stuff, and it's just too much. So when the applications came out, which they have come out like a month sooner than that, like so it's kind of tough, but I think that it's
mean last year? Sorry, what did you mean?
What do you mean?
You said they came out sooner?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Like last year they came out like beginning of December. Oh. This time it's like almost a whole month earlier, which I didn't really like expect that it was even going to happen. Kennedy says, if you apply, I'll apply.
Nice.
Very funny.
Everyone should just apply then.
Very funny. Disney World Freak says, can't wait to see you two lovebirds and your special day. That is so sweet. I love it. Nice. And Llama Floof says, do it next year. That's when I can do it. 2025 school year. That is when I cannot do it, unfortunately, because that's our wedding summer.
Oh, the year after?
Like 2025. The only chance that I'd be able to do it is next summer, which is summer 2024. That's my kind of last chance. The other thing is, like, I'm just going to say it here, is that we're then going to Disneyland. And as a cast member at Disney World, you get Disneyland tickets and a discount. Your main gate works there. That's a big factor for me, which is so funny. That's very funny. What about us old folks? Steve is wondering, after hearing about the good time you had. Well, I think the Disney college program you can do at any time if you're still in school, no matter on age.
Otherwise, you can do the other one.
But otherwise, if you're, cultural exchange is what I meant. But then the other option for people who are older and are not in school or are not in school can do the cultural representative program, which is the year-long in Epcot. Yes. So you could apply for that if you would like to. That just, I don't really know. I think that application basis is very different. It's more of a rolling basis. Whereas the cultural exchange is like this time for the summer, and then it's like a cycle of like every fall. It's then for the following summer. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at about it. If anyone has any questions about it, like I said, feel free to reach out. We're going to workshop ideas for the name for this Disney death battle. Oh yeah. Because I feel like I can't in a title.
No, we're not doing that.
Say Disney death battle, but it could be something else.
We'll think of something. And that's also copywriting because Jess and Nico use that.
They use that, so we got to ask them if they're fine, because they had that idea. But yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else. Any other updates on our end before we let you all go? I know this was a shorter live stream, but also for that little death battle, we'll have to get some people on to help us, because I think that it's more fun when again, people are involved, if in the chat or in person, it's you go through hypotheticals of Sven versus whatever, but Sven has those antlers. And I know that Sven's nice, but in that situation, you'd have to be Disney knockout.
That's good.
That's a good idea. Llama Floof, you're hired. Part of the team, Disney knockout. Yeah, like always, these are just always so much fun. I say this every time, that live streams are such a different way to connect with everybody, which I just think is so fun. And we appreciate there's people who come all the time or check in one time. It's just so like appreciated that you come and hang out with us on a Saturday and you sit here for like an hour or 3, depending on the topic, and just hang out with us. I just like really appreciate it. And I know that we love doing these and they're so fun. In terms of new videos for us, a new Disney World vlog is coming Monday. There's a few left of those, and then we'll kind of transition back into other stuff. We're going to do another cross like border trip, hopefully soon. And then just more live streams and then holiday stuff. Again, the holidays are coming. So we have like a few little Disney stuff. I have some college program videos that I have to do still.
Yeah.
2 of them specifically. One of them is like a haul. And then the other one is like an update about the program and my experience, which might be a live stream. You know what I mean?
Oh, really?
Kind of thing. I think maybe, I don't know what's better if it's a live stream where like then people, if they have questions, can ask about it. And I'll get some friends on here that have done a program before and we'll kind of chat about it. I think that that would be really, really fun. So we'll see if that's kind of how we do it. But Disney trivia could be fun. That'd be great. Like a little game show. Would you be good at trivia, Heidi?
No.
Why? I think
I'm
you
not
could
good
be
at
good.
trivia.
We have some trivia games here. We could do some trivia. And McKenna, welcome. And says, hello, guys. Hope you're having a wonderful day. We are. We set up our Christmas background and had some fun stuff today. Just, again, like life's been so busy for us. Heidi's in a placement. I'm in school and working and stuff. So it's just really, really busy. We could play a Kahoot.
That would actually be so
Kahoot's fun.
jokes.
So again, I think that this is fun. Lots of ideas, which I appreciate that you all really care about the live streams and want to like have ideas and stuff, which I love.
That's nice.
We are always open to input and we'll always do fun stuff. So I think we'll build on the Disney knockout thing, Llama Floof. I like it. And then some Kahoot and some trivia and stuff could be so fun. Because again, we've ranked a lot of stuff and put a lot of stuff in brackets and like I've done tier lists, and then eventually you kind of have no more things to put in a bracket. I'm sure that you could always. I also loved when we did the one time from like my birthday when it was like random stuff.
Yeah, that was fun.
A random bracket. That was just like random and fun. But we just love seeing all of you and just are so thankful. So thank you for hanging out with us here tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks for ranking the princesses and talking about that with us and for all of the ideas and the input. We're going to be live, not this coming weekend, but hopefully the one after. Again, stay tuned on Instagram and ring the bell because you'll see when things pop up and like reminders. And I always include it in like our videos for the week. There's like a thing that pops up and says if we're going live. So always stay tuned. Again, Instagram is the best way to know if we're going live. And then, of course, if you have those little like notifications on, then when we do go live, it'll pop up for you and you'll be able to see it. So thank you all so much. Hopefully you all enjoyed this Rankin' Princesses, and we cannot wait to see you all very soon with a new video Monday and then another live stream very, very soon. Love you all. Have a great weekend. And
remember, it's always bye, everyone.
Oh, no, I just pressed leave studio, which I don't know what that would do. So instead I'm going to go end stream.
Peace.
I think.